Hello, welcome back to the Age Grouper podcast. This is the race review of Ironman Oceanside 70.3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can speak. That's always a good omen for the whole podcast if that's the first thing that comes out your mouth.
Yeah.
Anyway, but before we get into actually talking about the race, we just want to have a bit of a bitch and moan. Man. Ironman is just, they don't want you to watch. We were trying so hard to watch this race.
I got prepared. I was half an hour before. I was like, all right, I'm going to look on this outside thing or wherever they're streaming it.
Outside TV.
And I'm going to try and set it up. And so I'm clicking on it and it's just not loading. So I'm like, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
And then we eventually figure out that
it doesn't actually work in Australia. So Australians just can't watch Ironman this year, apparently.
Yeah, because all of them are on there.
Yeah. But thankfully, NordVPN exists, but then NordVPN like to put a premium package, but you can't actually see it. And so I was just so frustrated by the whole thing that I'm like, screw it.
Quickly,
click,
get it.
Pay.
Because the race had started by this point. We were trying to...
It's oh no, that's double as much as we said it was going to be. Anyway, so that was the start of it. So we're pretty much at a 10 out of 10 rage immediately before the race has even started. Just mad as hell.
It's just it's not an accessible sport.
It's not,
at the best of times. And they're just I see they're trying to cover it more because they're giving it to this streaming service, but they're just giving it to a streaming service that is
subpar.
So it's just
and that's another thing actually. Every 2 minutes they cut and we're going to cut to break for the 100th time. I'm
yeah, and the break is for this streaming service.
We're already
on the streaming service.
All you have to say is go on to blah blah and do premium and you get to watch these races after. They didn't even mention that. They're
no.
Cool sport, jumping off cliffs, jump cut. I'm like, all right, man.
So
I'm already on the app.
Anyway. Yeah. We finally got it working, and what do we see?
We missed the most important bit of the race, to be honest, which is weirdly the swim.
Yeah, but we knew that.
We knew it was going to be drastically important because, as we were discussing in the preview, there's a lot of really strong swimmers, and then there's Lionel, who was the favourite for the race, who isn't as strong, and lo and behold, this is the front pack again. I thought we were over these days. I really thought those days were over.
I don't think this is going into further things, but I don't think he's ever going to be in the front pack.
You don't reckon? He was getting in the front pack last season. In Chattanooga, he was in the front pack.
I think there weren't as strong swimmers in that
course. I guess so, but
anyway.
I think it has something to do with going straight out into the ocean and the waves being really big. That's what I'm hoping. So that's the silver lining for him. But yeah, so he misses the front pack, but we didn't obviously see it, and then we go straight into it, and he's down 2 minutes already.
Yeah.
And pretty much as we had discussed before, all the strong swimmers created a pack, and a big one too. I forget how many people were in it, but there might have been 8 people in that.
To start, it was 8 or... No, it was 10.
It was 10,
it was
true.
10 straight off onto the bike, and then they dropped one pretty quickly. I can't remember who that was.
Yeah.
And then it was 9-ish, and then they kind of dropped them off eventually.
Yeah. But the first thing we saw, we keep in mind that we're sort of pretty grumpy at this point, a bit filthy, and we turn it on.
We missed the swim, so we're just catching them as they come onto the bike.
Yeah, and we're McKenna's second. This is awesome. And then they switch to McKenna, and they're look at him. He's just in the middle of nowhere.
Well, he was behind, and then they go around this corner, and he just decides to kind of overtake. I forget who was in second.
Yeah.
It was
Canute,
Alistair. I think.
Canute was first. Alistair was
and so he overtakes
second.
Alistair on the inside, or outside because they're in America. But and then he can't get past Canute. He just can't bridge the gap. Yeah. And then Brownlee obviously speeds up to stop him from getting in.
Yeah, yeah.
And once you make a pass, you have to finish the pass.
Yeah,
yeah. So he's just stuck out there, just
and you can just see that he just concedes after a while, and he just goes back, and he almost I think he actually almost went straight to the motorbike.
Yeah, and he was
the adjudicator was
sorry, man.
I tried, my dude.
That was really bad.
That was really funny. It was quite humorous. It kind of put me in a lot.
It'd be nice to have him in that pack, but I guess not.
All I can say is I wouldn't want to be driving on the outside lane with Alistair on the inside lane. You know
he's not letting you in.
It felt like that situation where there's some hooligan behind you, just in an SS Commodore, and you're oh man, this guy's really wants me to move. And then there's someone to your left, and you sort of speed up a bit to sort of get in front of him, and they go a little bit further
and you're
ahead.
just in a ticky-tack
I'm get out of my way! You know? And you're just so frustrated. Like, please.
McKenna's just like,
It's like, could you just please help me out? I mean, like, it's my first, like, it's my first race of the US.
He like you come out of the water and you're like, you don't even know what's going on. You're on the bike. You're like,
oh my gosh, you feel awesome. I'm going to overtake Alistair Brownlee.
and then he's like, crap.
Damn it. This guy's an Olympic gold medalist.
So anyway, then the pack formed.
Lionel, sorry to go back to Lionel again, but pack forms. Lionel's then, 2 minutes 20 behind. And looking at it, he actually dropped the gap to 140 almost immediately. But then it expanded back out to...
Yeah, Canute and Brownlee were on the front for a while, like doing some serious
and
digs. They dropped that. They cut that pack from 10 at the start and then it was the 5 that went all the way after that.
Yeah,
well, when they went into that hilly. I forget what they called it. It had a name.
Yeah,
on the course, but that hilly section.
Yeah, well, you know, actually, I feel like what the race really showed is that people who win the races aren't the ones who get to the front of these packs and put in big efforts. Because Alistair Brownlee, in every race that I swear I've ever watched him, he's always at the front, and he gets praised for it, which he should. I mean, it's good racing. I respect it.
Well, it's not good. Yeah.
But he gets to the front, and it's the same with Ben Canute. And I think Ben Canute's a bit of a different story because I don't think he knows that he isn't fast enough on the run. And so I actually respect that guy. Like, I feel
he was really trying to push it out.
Yeah, like, he's racing. Like, I really respect that. But him and Brownlee, they were the one putting in the effort. And you know what I mean? And we're talking about Rudy von Berg beforehand. And he actually, funny enough, was at the back of the pack almost the whole time. And
he was there for a bit, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And just silently and deadlily. Deadly.
Yep, don't know.
Mate, you're the English guy. I really was hoping you'd fill me in there. Deadlier. Anyway, he was at the back of the pack in 5th after it all had broken up and there were the last 5 guys. He was at the back and the commentators were just like, oh, you know,
what's he doing?
Talking like he's like a 5-year-old kid who shouldn't really be there. Oh, Jackson Laundry, it's really good. I'm very happy for him. We'll see when he gets spat out the back. I'm like, whoa, the disrespect.
Yeah. So it was Von Berg, Laundry, Canute, Brownlee, and
Appleton,
that's right. So those 5 went all the way together pretty much and all got off the bike at the same point.
Yeah, and I mean, harkening back just to then, is out of those 5 guys, the race results ended up being in the order of who put in the least amount of effort on the bike.
True.
Pretty much.
True. Interesting.
Yeah. And, you know, everyone was talking about Jackson Laundry not really, you know, they were talking that he had a good run in him, but for some reason they just didn't think
he had it.
I think when a good runner can get in the front pack, that's when you win these races.
Especially when he's conserving energy, sitting back there and just like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if he was...
He played it perfectly, really.
You can tell. You know what's the annoying thing is these dudes who ride that stupid-ass Ventum bike, they're all good racers. It's annoying. It's almost like it's actually a better bike.
Ridiculous.
It's so ugly, though.
It looks so dumb.
I would rather actually come 2 places down and not ride that ugly-ass thing. I'm serious.
Hey, man, he only got paid $7,000 or something.
Yeah, true.
Biggest win of his career.
Yeah, biggest win of his career. Congrats.
Yeah, hey, mate, here's, like, I guess a flight home. That's about it. So, but yeah, so they all get on the run at the same point. And Brownlee is
looking awesome.
In control, you would say.
He looked awesome. Like, I can't overestimate how good he looked. You know, considering, I think because we're used to maybe seeing him in the Olympics where he's like booking it, you know, for the 10Ks and you're like, geez, he's working. In the 21, you look at him and he's like, is that guy going for like an easy trot? Like, surely your heart rate can't be that high. But sorry, just before we get into that, I just wanted to quickly go back to Lionel on the bike.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a bit of a line in the sand moment where I think we can all stop calling Lionel an Uber biker.
Yeah. Well, Uber bikers don't exist anymore anyway.
I think Sam Long is still an Uber biker, if you ask me. He's close. He's as close as you'll get.
I think his run's good enough that he's not an Uber biker.
No, true. But I mean, like, in terms of, like, I would trust Sam Long to come out far behind in the swim and still manage to win a race.
True. I think, like, yeah, true.
Whereas I don't think Lionel can do it anymore. I don't know why.
He was close. He was close. I mean...
No, for sure. And his bike run combo is still the best out of that field.
Yeah. He's just 2 minutes back.
By a minute and a half, actually, in the end, if you think about it. He was only 30 seconds behind Laundry at the end of the race. It's just you can't miss the front pack. If you want to win a race these days, you can't miss the front pack. And that's why I don't really understand with his training philosophy with Gustav, what's his name, his coach? Mikhail Eden.
Yeah.
A lot of it does seem to be centered on like training protocol for blah, blah. Awesome for the running, it seems like. But in the biking, there's a certain level you need to get to, and you need to focus on the other two sports, I swear. It's almost got to the point where everybody's so good on the bike that unless you can hit the front pack in the swim...
You need something else now.
The bike is a prerequisite.
Yeah. You couldn't... Before you could bike your way to a win. Like you could literally... And they talked about that like a long time ago when Uber bikers started coming into the sport. And it was like, oh, look at these guys. And it's like, you could for a while just have a good bike and you would be all right.
Yeah.
And now you just can't. Like everyone's
so good
on the bike, pretty much.
Yeah. And, but with that being said, now that they're all so we'll move on to them being all onto the run.
Yeah.
And you can just immediately see that it almost makes me a bit sad. Like Appleton, Canute, and who was the other? Oh no, Rudy was there. But the Appleton, Canute, just no chance immediately.
Just can't do it.
Like, that's got to be a depressing place to be because they're never going to get there.
Yeah, like, I imagine they're training a lot on the run. They must just not, it's just not in their...
I mean, they're still running a freaking 113, you know? Like, it's just these guys are so fast.
I mean, we said it at the start. We said it in the preview shows. Like, you know what's going to happen. Literally, like Appleton, Canute. And they're great. They're really good. They're good fun to watch. But
yeah. You know, you got to respect it.
It's rough for them.
It's so
really
true.
Rough.
It's so true. I mean, those guys are almost the worst possible scenario for a guy like Lionel or Sam Long being in the race.
Yeah.
They're race breakers, weirdly. They'll never win the race, but they'll make Lionel lose.
True.
I know.
Great swimmer and great bike.
And everything is about Lionel, obviously. But it's the same for like Sam Long and some of those other slightly weaker swimmers. Like Hansen wasn't even there, was he?
No, that's the thing. He was on the start list. They announced the official start list.
And he just wasn't there. Fair dinkum. Yeah.
Not fair dinkum up. I'm out on that guy.
No, really? No, shame. Anyway, but those guys, all they end up doing is they just expose the weak swimmers and then they still get beaten by them in the end. And Lionel's like, boys, come on, guys. Like, can you like fuck off?
Do one or the other?
I'm literally I'm trying to win this race and you're pushing so hard on the swim. Like it literally, who were the guys pushing? It was Canute and Appleton, I'm pretty sure. It was definitely
Canute was on the front for the whole thing, I think.
Canute's a pest.
Yeah, but Canute's trying to win his race.
Of course. I know. I'm just saying if you're in Lionel's head, you're like, damn it.
Yeah, he's like, come on.
Come on. And the problem was those top five were so good. And then the field was deep, but it wasn't deep. You know what I mean? They weren't guys who...
Not top. It was like... Yeah.
That second level, Lionel never had anybody to ride with. So you kind of don't really have a chance.
Yeah, so he didn't really claw back anything. And then, we're moving to the run. And so, I mean, Brownlee just capitulates.
That's a great word, mate.
Thanks.
I knew I could trust you.
It'll come out every now and again.
It capitulates.
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 So, he just, I mean, you said he looks completely in control. And everyone's like, well, it looks like if he has to, he's got another gear at least that he can, even if someone pushes him. And just like, nah. Laundry's like, I'm just going to go straight past you.
Okay.
And like extend the lead. So, I mean, it's cause for concern, probably. I mean, it is his first race back in a while.
True, but I mean, that was happening since 2018.
Anyway.
It's the exact same story every time. The only time he hasn't capitulated, to use your word, is back in 2019 World Champs. When he came second.
Gustav.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be very concerned. I mean,
I just don't think his mentality works for long distance triathlon. I don't think it's a problem with his body. I just think mentally speaking, he's too aggressive. He's too much of an aggressive racer. I think he goes into the swim and he pushes hard, and he goes into the bike and he definitely pushes hard.
He doesn't have anything left.
I just don't get that.
He looked cool on that BMC though.
Oh, he looked awesome.
Like,
talk
really
about
good.
like no swag to all the swag.
Yeah, he looked really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the red.
Yeah. But
sponsored by Aldi.
What did he come? He came fourth, didn't he?
I don't even remember actually. That's bad research by me. Yeah, you look it up. Yeah. So,
fourth. Yeah.
I want the best for that guy, and I do feel bad for him that it keeps happening. But the thing about the race that was so surprising to me, if he doesn't win, then Lionel will definitely win.
Yeah.
But then Landry, man, he looked really good at the start. Like, he got to the start of the run and he was actually up front.
Yeah.
And he was pushing. I'm like, oh,
That looks good.
maybe this guy, sometimes people will push hard at the start and then that's,
Drop
it for him. But
yeah. No, I mean, an awesome finish as well. Like, couldn't ask for really a better race.
Yeah.
I mean, a great thing to watch. And it's like, all happens in the last 5K or so.
yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, which was awesome for me because 10Ks left with the run. It was 2 in the morning or 1 in the morning. I must have too much credit. But I'm like, I'm just going to
it
go.
really doesn't work with the old Australian. Maybe
No, it
that's why
doesn't.
they didn't let us stream it. They're like,
Yeah, they're like, those guys won't watch it. There's no idiots who would ever do that. And that's why we're here, boys. We'll tell you what happened.
Yeah, you don't even need to watch any of it.
Yeah.
We'll tell you exactly what happened.
The third podcast.
But shout out to your guy Jason West. I mean, he came 6th.
He was pretty good.
Pretty good.
He just can't bike. You will do well, I think. And the shorter the races go, the less it matters. But if you can swim really well and you're a really good runner,
Yeah.
you'll go well. I think you just can't win a race if you can't run. I mean, it's obvious. But
Yeah, good. That's good analysis from
Thank
you
you.
there. That's what they're coming for.
yeah, that's what you wanted to know, and
You
that's
also
what I
can't
told
win
you.
if you can't bike either.
I've heard that if
Awesome.
you drown in the swim,
You can't win.
you can't win. Expert analysis.
Anyone else? I mean, Eric Lagerstrom came 8th. That impressed me.
That's pretty good. He's good for an 8th.
Yeah, I was thinking more like 12th, but
Yeah, right.
8th's good.
Fair enough. But just to finish, actually, Lionel versus Rudy in that sprint at the end.
Yeah.
Man, those boys were flying. But the thing to think about again, Lionel doesn't want to be battling Rudy von Berg. I hate to say, for second, like
That's
disappointing for him. You know what I mean? Like Rudy von Berg is really good, but he's not on that top level.
No, it is concerning. It'll be interesting to see what he says about it.
I would say that the only thing to take away for Lionel that might be a positive is that swim couldn't have been any worse for him
True.
in terms of the people racing, in terms of the fact that it was open water. I think that's the worst possible scenario for a weak swimmer.
And he was still only 2 minutes.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, you make a good point there.
Like, I honestly, truly think that Lionel would win a race if he could get in the front pack against the best guys. Like, I think he might be the best runner in the whole field. He's getting close. Like, him and Gustav would be really close.
Yeah, I mean, they went head to head in that, where was that?
Florida.
Yeah, that's right. They went head to head.
Yeah. So I think they're actually like pretty close in terms of, and same with Blumenfeld. But the funny thing is, Blumenfeld did so badly in that race. It was the same problem. He wasn't in the front pack in the swim. So,
yeah, but I don't. Yeah, you think Lionel can be in the front pack then?
I think he can. Yeah. I think he can. I think it just depends on the day. I think if it's going to be, because I think what happened from memory is that he missed the front pack, but then that actually stabilized. So it's really the first 500 meters that screwed him over. Like.
Well, yeah, because that became calmer after that. So you might be right. It might have just been that stuff. It'll be interesting to see the next race. Something to look at.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't gotten worse at swimming, so that's good.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah.
And he hasn't gotten worse at biking, but it hasn't.
His running's
I think
definitely
everyone's
better.
just gotten better.
Yeah.
So
True. And
he
also
said that himself. But.
True. And you got to remember, like, these guys, all 4 guys were working together, and he was basically on his own the whole time. Although he had that guy who ended up catching up to him and trying to, like, actually did a little alpha move on him. Like, he basically went in front of. I don't know who that guy was, actually. I should have looked it up. But some guy went past him right at the end, and they actually came at the same time in transition.
Yeah, right.
And then Lionel just dropped him like a sack of
Cool,
potatoes straight after. Yeah, good job. Good job. Yeah. But
yeah, so, I mean, look, looking forward to, the next race, probably St. George.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know, be worried if you're Brownlee. Pretty confident if you're Von Berg. You thought he would. What did you pick him, second?
I did pick him second, but I was a bit concerned with his illness. But I think he's in good form.
You were right about the hills and stuff, though. I think that'll serve him well in St. George. So he should go into that with a lot of confidence.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah. All right. Well, any final thoughts before we check out?
The women's.
Yeah, true. Totally left that.
Yeah, I mean, it was they covered that a lot at the start.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah,
lot.
true.
And it was on Taylor Nib for maybe like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's about enough of that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she just...
Right away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she's a good enough swimmer. I mean, she's a good swimmer.
Yeah, she is a good
She's a very
swimmer.
good swimmer.
Her swim bike is elite.
Yeah.
Which is the weird thing is like weirdly in the women's race, you can be a sort of average runner and still... it's almost like the women's scene is a little bit like out of phase with the male scene. Like I'd be interested if like 2 or 3 years from now, it starts to morph into something more similar to what the males look like now.
Yeah.
Because right now she's almost like a Lionel with a swim because she can't really run. Like she can run.
Her run was,
It was
way back. Not way back, but it was 2 minutes behind like whoever else was.
Yeah, like it's solid, but it's certainly not anything to write home about. But
yeah, so Luisa Baptista. I haven't really heard Baptista. Yeah, Baptista.
It's a cool name.
It is a cool name. She came second. Holly Lawrence third.
Holly Lawrence is pretty dependable.
Ash Gentle fourth. So
good.
I like that. Daniela Reef 10th. She's on the wrong side.
I think she's like
we've
over
been
the hill,
seeing that for a little while.
A wee tick. Although she's never been like a 70.3 specific athlete, so I guess we can't talk until she does an Ironman. But yeah, it doesn't look good.
Oh, it looks bad.
I think it's since she got that ugly ass felt. I think that curved top tube is just ruining her.
I know triathletes don't age well, but she looks really old.
Yeah,
like
she
I
looks like
saw a
she's taken
video
a
of
few
her,
hits.
and I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
your skin and you just don't look that well.
You want to give her some like Dermavine rub, maybe like a bath salts.
Paula Finley's 6. She'd probably be disappointed in that.
Paula Finley's random. I feel like she just is either really good or, you know.
I mean, Taylor Nib just took it over. She went onto the front of the race in the bike in the first 2 minutes, and then that's it.
I think that's just going to be the case. That's the problem with. That's the thing that I'm going to have trouble with being extremely interested in the women's scene for the next couple of races. I think Taylor Nib's going to be pretty dominant, if you asked me. Like,
especially Lucy Charles Barkley's out now.
Yeah.
For an extended period of time.
Yeah.
So I don't really see anyone else
making the leap. All right, cool. Well, I just was going to go on the final thoughts of the race. The thing that I'm going to take away from this whole thing is I think the scene has been morphing into this, but I think it really has become, to win a race, you need to be in the front pack and you need to be a great runner and you just need to get in that front pack. Being an excellent biker versus a pretty good biker, if you're in the front pack, it doesn't make a difference. Because Jackson Laundry isn't an excellent biker by any means, but he's serviceable, you know? He gets into that. It's almost like if I'm an athlete, I'm going for the rides to make sure that I'm keeping it up, but you'd much rather be focused on the swim.
Yeah, true.
And obviously you don't want to be slow enough that you're getting dropped, but...
Yeah. No, I think it's a good point. It makes everything more interesting. I think we're in for a good season.
True.
From what I've seen, if those guys are pushing Lionel, I mean, Lionel didn't have his best race, but they're pushing Lionel that far. I mean, stands to be pretty competitive, I would say, considering a lot of the other guys weren't there.
True.
Like Big Mets.
Big Mets.
Yeah.
Where was the Big Mets?
Big Mets would have crushed it.
Yes. No, you know who would have definitely won that race? Gustav.
Yeah.
He would have. He would, because Gustav does exactly in every race what Jackson Laundry did. Gets in the front pack just barely. That's the thing. It's the same thing as Lionel. Gustav is sort of like a younger, slightly more upgraded, I guess you could call it, version of Lionel.
True.
Very similar athletes. You know, not quite good enough in the swim. Now are becoming similar with being serviceable on the bike.
Yeah.
And then
just
run. Amazing runners.
True.
So it'll be Jan. Oh man, I cannot wait for Jan to come. I have no idea what that guy's going to do different, because he'll be in the front pack of the swim. He'll get into the pack with riding. He's not going to ride away like he used to do back in the day. So he'll be in the pack. It just depends on how elite his run is.
It's going to be. It's going to be great.
That's going to be spicy, man. I reckon the top 5 is going to be within 30 seconds.
Yeah, it's all going to be that race. I reckon it's going to be racing the last 5K, full on,
mate. But don't worry. They'll take breaks every 2 minutes on the coverage, so and then it'll cut out because the US VPN doesn't work. And then they'll be like, "Oh, we're back to the coverage, and another break." It's oh man, please.
And let me show Sky Moenk. I still can't say her name.
Who?
You know Sky Moenk, the women in the women's race? You don't know who that is? She's like pretty well renowned, but she was down in like 8th place, and they're just showing her on the bike for like 10 minutes. I'm like,
come on, man. Show me. I didn't see Ash Gentle one time.
I didn't see Ash Gentle.
Come on, man.
There's clear bias, but
definitely. I mean, I guess it's impossible, but don't they have one is it just one camera that they drive up to the men drive back to, or is there two?
There must be more because they switch. I've seen them switch.
Because if they switch,
yeah,
whoever's editing this stuff, just switch it more often.
Yeah, it's like they're.
I'm happy to see them both the equal amount, but when it goes on to the males for 5 minutes and it goes on to the females for 5 minutes, you want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And the other problem is the time checks are so infrequent. Like, that's why I went to bed so late. I was just waiting to be like, I wonder how quickly, so I could calculate in my head if Lionel was actually going to catch these guys.
Yeah.
And I had to wait like almost 15 minutes one time to wait for the next time check to come. Those times should be up the whole time. Why do they ever take it off? They drop it down to like the overall times.
Don't know, man. They're just doing a bad job. Anyway.
Nothing we can do about it, I suppose. All right, mate. Well, that was great. A nice little quick one for the race review. We'll be back again for some other nonsense, I'm sure.
Later in the week.
Yeah, later in the week. So I'll see you then. And I didn't actually give you one of these.
Can I get two?
You can get two. So there's one. There's two. Ooh. That is warm. Yeah.
It's really hot in here and I'm sunburnt.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah.
You are sunburned.
Yeah, no. I forgot to put sunscreen on when I went for a big ride today.
Good on
and
you.
a run.
Bustleton 100, baby. Let's go.